You are listening to Viewpoints from PlaceCloud. Cultural researchers tell stories of places from around the world. For the full multimedia experience and to support the creators you enjoy, visit placecloud.io.
We're standing here on the site of Paul's Cross in the grounds of St Paul's Cathedral. This has been a point of gathering since at least the 13th century, as it still is for Londoners today. It had been important as the location of the Folkmoot, an ancient place of meeting and debate for the people of London. During the 14th century, sermons began to be preached in this area of St Paul's Churchyard. It became famous as an open-air pulpit where the crowd would gather. In time, an octagonal pulpit with a lead roof to keep off the rain was erected. The pulpit is said to have stood in the Cross Yard, the open space at the north-east side of St Paul's Cathedral, adjacent to the row of buildings that was becoming home to London's bookselling trade. Through this period, where the cross was an important place for sermons, a detached bell tower stood at the north-east corner between the choir and the north transept. This was the place if you wanted to hear someone expound the word of God, perhaps on a topical focus of the day, sometimes with a political slant, and where royal proclamations, victories in war, papal bulls were announced. During the Reformation in the 16th century, Paul's Cross was perhaps the most important pulpit for putting forth religious views in a public place, especially those of the government. Many of the political and religious changes brought by the Reformation were made public from here, with battles of words over religious ideas, from Catholics to more radical Protestants, depending on the political wind. It is this open-air pulpit that the Venetian ambassador, Sebastian Giustinian, said the whole city is in the habit of assembling at. In 1517, it was the most serious London violence of the 16th century which begun here. An evil May Day riot, as it is called, is said by some to have begun following the preaching of one Dr. Beale at the pulpit at Paul's Cross, in an inflammatory anti-foreigner sermon. This in turn pushed the anxieties of citizens, who were then experiencing feelings of resentment towards foreign craftsmen and trades, into open riot. Paul's Cross was such an important site in the Tudor city that it became a place where non-verbal messages were shared also. In 1527 was burned Tyndale's Bible and the work of Martin Luther. In 1546 was a great burning of forbidden books also. In August 1553, a preacher at the cross spoke in favour of the new Bishop of London and was critical of the old incumbent, Nicholas Ridley. For his pains, he had a dagger thrown at him, although the blade missed and is said to have stuck in the wood beside him. The cross remained important into the following century. During the rebellion of the Earl of Essex in 1601, it seems he led his way past the Sunday sermon at Paul's Cross with the hopes of finding supporters for his cause. During the reigns of King James and his son Charles, the pulpit remained a popular site to hear sermons, often state-sanctioned ones. William Dugdale claimed that the pulpit cross was destroyed under the ordinance for removing monuments of idolatry in 1643 at the start of the English Civil War, although it probably was that the pulpit was taken down a little earlier in 1635, when this area of the cathedral close was used as a mason's yard during renovation work on the cathedral led by the architect Inigo Jones. Today, a monument stands in this area of the cathedral precinct, but it's not on the exact spot where Paul's Cross stood. A stone carved with the words, "Here stood Paul's Cross," marks the actual location of the pulpit as it stood from the middle of the 15th century until at least 1635. If you listen carefully, you can almost imagine being stood in a crowd, listening to a preacher calling down to you from the centuries.